I thought you were going to tell me he kisses his like 78-year-old father on the lips.
He probably does. That's probably where he got it from.
His sexual fetishes, from BDSM to quote drinking blood and quote cutting toes. Okay, cutting, who hasn't cut a toe in a sexual before?
I think I've always wondered, like, why do people like scary movies? It's just never connected for me.
Just like the mall Santa dynamic hits on a lot of things that work really well for me.
Every woman I know wants to live in a commune. Hey, welcome back. We're Not For Everyone. We're a podcast hosted by a hater, Caroline Winkler, and a lover, Jess DeBakey. What's up, boo?
We got a really important DM this week, Jess DeBakey.
Okay.
Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, please.
I love the listeners.
I'm scared.
We got like, so
did
good.
I see this or did I not?
I think maybe you did. Maybe you did. We got a DM from a listener this week that says just hot take. They want a hot take on parents that kiss their kids on the mouth.
Please. I did see this. I did see this. And I did write it down. So we're aligned.
You wrote it down because you love it?
Because I love the request to do a hot take. Let's not get it twisted. I don't know if my take is that hot. I would say the average person, I hope, would agree with my take.
Which is that you're gonna kiss your kids on the mouth?
I'm kissing them all. No, it's the fucking I truly hate it. I truly hate it. You know what's the worst is when it's little kids, it's one thing. I have seen it happen at a wedding with the bride and the dad.
No.
And hey, it's like I don't want to judge your family, but I'm definitely judging your family.
No, yeah. I definitely want to judge your family. First of all, the number one thing I'm doing at a wedding is judging your family.
Right, that's true. That's the whole point of a wedding.
Isn't that why we're here? No, I want to, yeah, of course I'm going to judge that. It's crazy. That's crazy. It's crazy, and yet enough people do it that we have to talk about it.
But like, okay, you're right. And I don't think I became aware of how common it is until like recently. And that's worrisome because everyone I interact with is about my age, in their 30s. Why am I just now in my 30s learning that everyone's doing this? A lot of people are doing this.
It's not everyone, but it's enough that
raises a flag.
I'm ready to take a stand. Yeah. It's so, and I don't want to hear you're over sexualizing a relationship that isn't sexual. No, you're just sexualizing. Whatever. Maybe it's not sexual. You're sexualizing. Maybe you're not, like, I understand maybe you're not sleeping with your own child. Maybe.
Stop it.
I can't know that. No one's proven that to me. True. But now you're making me think about it. Why? What's the need? So what are you losing by just kissing them on the cheek? What are you losing if you what are you losing? That is the question. You need to feel your child's lips on your lips. I need to feel the lips that I made with my body.
Well, it's because they want to kiss themselves. I mean,
that is basically what it is.
That's what it is. People want to have kids to recreate themselves in a tiny, cuter version that can maybe be more successful or more talented than they were. And kissing that little child is saying to them, I love me.
I think I'm hot. I think I'm
hot shit.
I think I'm hot. There's a great, I think it's like Amy Schumer had a bit where she's talking about a certain kind of mom who's like too in love with her son. Yeah. Which to me is, which relates to a whole tangential topic of like mama's boys, which a mama's boy, not just a man who respects his mother and loves his mother, but a mama's boy is such a red flag to me.
Run because as far as you can.
Run so far away from those lips. Those lips are gonna be touching all the time. But even if a mama's boy is not making out with his mom, I found a really high correlation between like guys who are mama's boys who like have their mom on a pedestal, because and men who don't actually respect women, because having anyone on a
Mhm.
pedestal is actually not seeing them as a person. So if you have your mom on a pedestal, usually there's a really high correlation to not actually seeing women as whole people. You see
Yeah.
just like certain women as this saintly thing. And then I see a lot of times, I don't know, I've just seen a really high correlation between mama's boys and men who don't actually like treat women well, except maybe their mom who they're kissing.
Right.
So to me,
To circle
I don't,
back.
yeah, I don't know what the science is. I don't know what the science is, but it's been a red flag to me. But Amy Schumer has this bit about like moms who are a little too in love with their sons when their son like brings a girlfriend home or something.
Mhm.
And the kind of air, the attitude of the mom being a little bit like, oh, well, I mean, okay, I don't know. I kind of thought I was gonna get to fuck him. Oh, it's
Yeah.
okay, but like
I've
I don't
seen
know.
this bit.
I kind of thought I was gonna get to fuck my son. It's fine, but that's the
Yeah.
vibe.
It is the vibe. I want a study of like people who grew up kissing their parents on the lips and people who didn't, and then separate it by men and women too, and find out what happened to them. Like, are
Yeah,
they
they are
good?
different. They are different relationships. A daughter kissing a daughter. Do
A
you see a
daughter
lot
kissing
of?
a mom, a daughter
First of
kissing a
all,
dad, a
I'm gonna say.
boy kissing a mom, boy kissing a dad. All of them happen. I have examples for all of them. I have examples for all of them.
I only have examples for the like different sexes kissing each other,
Oh,
but I think actually maybe the weirdest would be to see a daughter kissing her mom on the lips.
yeah, I think that's the least likely because please, a daughter
Which
mother
to me,
relationship,
which
strife.
to me, yes, right. Which to me, I think that somehow proves that the daughter kissing a dad or the son kissing a mom is somehow on some level sexual,
Yeah.
because by the fact, I don't know.
But the boys kissing, you know about
I
Tom Brady.
have not seen a boy kissing his dad on the lips. What?
Tom Brady, renowned football quarterback,
Renowned incest promoter.
kisses his sons on the lips. It was like a whole
Okay, how old
thing.
are they? How old are they though?
They're
I do
like
think there's
8.
there's an age
They're
cutoff.
not babies, but they're
I
not
think that's
grown
still
men.
within the realm. I thought you were gonna tell me he kisses his like 78-year-old father on the lips.
He probably does. That's probably where he got it from.
He probably does. It's where he learned
It
how to
doesn't
that's
just
learned how
start
he make love.
randomly. This is
Yeah, that's true.
generational trauma. This is generations of kissing the parents on the lips. I don't think that one day a millennial parent who's never kissed their parent on the lip decides to kiss their kids on the lips. Like, this has been happening in the family.
Ugh, I'm gonna throw up. I'm literally just thinking about the few times where like accidentally one of my parents has like
Yeah.
mistakenly mistimed something. They've like snagged the corner of my mouth and I have to like spit on the floor immediately.
Yeah, I know.
No.
I know.
I and I really don't. I do not write into me with a DM about how it's pure and it's beautiful and it's maybe not incest. When I say incest, I'm sort of joking, but that doesn't mean that it's pure, that it's beautiful. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't accuse these people of incest. I also would say that they're the first people I'm gonna check with if we're like hunting down incest,
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
not putting them lower. First of all, I could accuse anyone of incest,
Right.
obviously, but it's not putting you lower on the list.
You have to collect data and it's a data point.
Yeah.
That's all we're
It's
saying.
we're collecting
As
data
scientists,
points.
it's a data point.
This is a data
Um,
point. The small
yeah.
children I allow. I'll kiss a small child on the lips. I'll kiss a child I don't know on the lips. That's fine. That's fine. I'll kiss your kid on the lips. Up to what age though?
You're not kissing my non-existent kid on the lips,
That's
especially
not
you. You
that's
won't.
not up to you. That's not up to you. That's between me and your kid. That's between me and your kid.
Well, it does bring up this different conversation that I've heard parents talking about, or like psychologists talking about for parents, maybe about like allowing your kid to say no to a hug. Like, if
Yeah.
their aunt is there and they got them a gift and the parent is like, hug your Aunt Susie and tell her thank you. And the kid doesn't want to, like, not forcing them to, which is a really
Yeah.
interesting, like, a lot of that makes sense to me because I'm like, yeah, like kids can
Oh,
set their own boundaries.
I think it totally
Um,
makes sense. If you're trying to teach, like, if we're trying to change the ways we talk about consent, like, I think it's
mhm.
easy I think I could see it being easy for some people to look at that and be like, that's not a consent issue. It's a different thing. But I think it is, like, starting at a young age to teach that you get to make decisions about what you're comfortable with,
Right.
as opposed to kids are so focused on pleasing authority. And they have to be because they aren't able to keep themselves safe. So the way we keep kids safe is by just like, you have to listen to authority until you're able to make these decisions. But then
Yeah.
when it's something about what you're allowed, what you have to do with your body, they're so willing to please because we make them need to please us. Then they get like, it teaches kids to be out of touch with what they're comfortable with. So I agree with that.
Yeah. And
And
then
there's
my
other
question
ways to
would
thank
be,
your aunt, you know?
oh, totally. But then my question would be, if you're kind of like conditioning a kid from a young age to kiss the parent on the lips, then I
Mm,
feel like that almost throws off their understanding of what generally normal, safe, um, physical touching looks like with an authority or an elder. Like, and then the flip side of that is like, oh no, but
yeah,
they know that it's just with their parents, just with their mom. But then it's like,
it's
oh,
weird.
it creates a weird thing of like, you only kiss mommy on the lips, okay? Only for mommy. Like,
Yeah, that's always mommy's makeout. We call that mommy's makeout.
and that's how mama's boys are born. So it's a slippery slope. I say we do none of it, please.
I feel like, do I need to clarify that I actually, if you kiss your kid on the lips or you kiss your parents on the lips and you're flying your freak flag, that's fine. I don't actually think it's weird. I just never want to look at it. Like, it's fine. I know it's
Mm,
fine. I know it's fine, but I'm allowed to say it's annoying.
I know it's fine, but it still makes me uncomfortable. Like,
Yeah.
you can know that something is logically fine and also feel like, but I don't want to be around it and I don't want to do it and I don't really get it. And, if it was me, I
That's
wouldn't,
yeah. That's
but
basically what this entire podcast is
yeah.
us talking about things that people are definitely allowed to do, but that
Yeah.
we want to condemn to hell.
Case closed. Burn in flames, bitches.
Yeah. I'm going to say if you need to kiss your parent on the lips or you need to let them plant one on you, just ask for witnesses' consent. Are you okay watching what I'm about to do? Just let people opt out if they need to, maybe.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, I think that's right, because if we were to suggest like only do that in private, then it does become more like, if you're only doing this in private, then I have questions. Do this in front of everybody, please. Like, make
That's
sure that there are
yeah.
witnesses.
That's actually a good call out. If you have been raised by a parent who insists that they kiss you on the lips, but they tell you this is just something we do in private, then I actually think you should write in to the podcast and let us connect you with professional support, which is not us. Again, it won't be us, but
It can't be us. Shan't be. Shorn't.
sure.
That's an office reference. Which I haven't watched recently, but I'm thinking about getting back into it. It's been like years since I used to rewatch The Office constantly, and it was like a huge part of my personality. I've talked about that. And then I just stopped because I just knew it all too well. And now it's been a few years, and I'm thinking about making it my winter rewatch binge. It's going to
Ooh.
be like being touched for the first time. I'm so excited.
It's gonna be like kissing your dad for the first time.
Yeah, the very first
Yeah,
time.
that sounds really nice. It is, I mean, to me also, I think you have definitely seen it more than I have, but it was my rewatch in college. I would say that The Office was like my best friend in college.
Yeah.
I can say that in a secure and self-aware way.
I think that's a good
Um,
way to put it.
yeah, just always playing. I think I was kind of that annoying person, but I haven't revisited it too much. And it is also that show that like my parents will watch without they don't like haven't watched all of it. They don't have that much context, but they'll sit and like crack up watching it. And I'm like, correct. Yeah, that's correct.
Correct. It's a test. It's a huge test. I
Yeah.
used to make guys that I was dating watch my favorite episode of The Office. Well, if they already
Mm,
were self-proclaimed like office heads, I would test them on their knowledge, trivia at the date. And if they were like, "Oh, I've kind of watched it, like, I know it's funny, but not really my thing," I'd be like, "That's questionable. I should probably throw you
yeah.
to the streets, but I'm horny, so come in and watch the dinner party episode with me, and if you laugh at the right times, we can still fuck." Like, that was basically my test.
Just playing, queuing up the dinner party episode of The Office is her setting the mood. Jess is wet. Jess is about to be very wet.
If we're not making out by the time that Dwight shows up to the party, like, you're done. You're
This
done.
isn't happening. Then I guess you're gay, I guess.
I guess. Yeah, I guess.
I used to make my office equivalent. I made a lot of new dates watch Silence of the Lambs with me.
That's so you. That's so you.
It really was my favorite movie for a while. And I felt like it was just like the place I could be myself. Like I did and still get so nervous getting to know somebody new. And I just felt like that was like the thing that could put me, it was like in my world. Here come me in my world with Hannibal Lecter.
You know, I don't think I've ever seen Silence of the Lambs. And I will only watch it with you now. Like one day we will watch it together. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen it. It seems scary. Is it? I don't even know what it's about.
It's scary, but only in the way, it's not the one like I've lost years of sleep over scary movies that keep me up at night. It's not one of those. I don't think it's one of those for most people. Maybe you'd be creeped out like that evening, but it's not like haunting in that way. Or paranormal or anything. It's almost more a psychological thriller because the main, like the Hannibal Lecter serial killer, who's actually only on screen for a total of 10 minutes, even though he won an Oscar for for his role. He's only on screen for like 11 minutes total.
That's impressive.
Yeah. But it's like, I feel like it's more the way he gets in Jodie Foster's head and stuff. Also, there's a toilet running upstairs, I think. So if you can hear, it's not stopping. So if you can hear a toilet throughout this entire recording, I'm sorry.
Caroline did go to the bathroom before we started, so she may be trying to throw us off her tracks.
No, it's not my toilet. It's actually making me nervous because like it's something that's consistently running and it makes me feel like, is it going to break through my ceiling or something?
Yeah.
Speaking
of scary movies, this past week was Halloween. And
yes, I've heard of it.
You've heard of it. I was texting you that my boyfriend and I watched a scary movie, and I've probably, this is not an exaggeration, I've probably watched 3 scary movies in my whole life. The first scary movie I ever watched was The Ring. It was in like 8th grade. I had 2 people over for a sleepover. No. We literally couldn't finish it, and we had to like pause it, go to sleep, and then finish it in the morning when it was light out.
Why did you finish it at that point? Oh my God.
I think one of the 3 of us, like one of the girls there, I think it was Claire, Kate, and me. And I think Claire really wanted to finish it, and Kate and I were like, we're good. And the negotiation was, we'll finish it in the morning. And I've probably seen, like in college, I watched the Paranormal Activities movies because I liked a guy and he wanted to watch them.
No, that's the worst one. I think that's the scariest movie
It's so scary. It's so scary.
I actually think that's the scariest movie I've ever seen.
So yeah, that's it. That's my exposure to scary movies. In my adulthood, I never watch them. I never choose it. If my friends want to watch one, enjoy your night. I'll see you tomorrow. But my boyfriend loves them. And, you know, I love coziness and being like a scared little baby. And so I was like, we can watch one for Halloween.
To be cozy.
Well, yeah, we're cozy either way. But I was like, oh, I want to introduce like a different character to our coziness. I'm going to be the scared little baby and you're going to be my protector, and we'll watch a scary movie if you allow me to like look away and just bury into you like most of the time. Yeah. So we watched one on Halloween, and it was enlightening. It wasn't the scariest thing I've ever seen. Like I could handle
what movie?
It was called shoot. Hold on. It was called No One Will Save You. It's a newish horror movie on Hulu, I think. Okay. And it's a weird movie. There's no dialogue. It's kind of a like alien invasion type of vibe.
No dialogue. That's intriguing.
Yeah, that part was intriguing. Like the way it was made was kind of interesting. And I had to turn away sometimes. It was kind of scary. There were some jump scares, but it wasn't like The Ring levels of scary. Okay. But it made me realize, I think I've always wondered, like, why do people like scary movies? It's just never connected for me. And it kind of made me realize why they might, because there were so many themes that are relatable to everyone about like guilt and shame and isolation and loneliness. And this scary movie, like the aliens kind of were like a foil for this woman to be able to examine her life and her choices and her mistakes. And so I didn't like it, but it did help me understand why other people might like it. I feel like for me,
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather explore like themes that I'm struggling with or like personal discovery types of things through a movie that I find more relatable to my day-to-day life. I don't need like scariness to mask what the themes are. Does that make sense? But for some people, I
Yes.
could see why they would want it to be like, oh, I'm doing some self-discovery through watching this, but I'm also scared and distracted by that. It's hard to describe, but
Okay. Okay.
help me
Okay.
get there if you know what I'm saying.
I think the way if I follow what you're saying, also the video is breaking up a little bit, but I think it's okay now.
Okay. Yeah, it said my
Um,
connection was unstable for a second. Okay.
I think the way there is definitely, yeah, I think for it to be compelling, there has to be an actual like human theme. It's usually a theme packaged in like a different well in a different
Yes.
package that is relevant. Like I think there's a really interesting correlation, and I think it's always pretty true. You know how sometimes scary movies, there's a popular scary movie genre for a few years, whether it's like the zombie apocalypse or it's something pandemic related or it's something paranormal. Like there are scary movie themes
Yeah.
that we cycle through, and they I think directly correlate to something in the zeitgeist or something in the culture that is stressing everyone out, or a way of looking at the world that like it's not for every scary movie that comes out, but when I think there's a theme being repeated and we can't get enough of this one kind of movie, I think it or this one kind of story, I do think it reflects
Mm-hmm.
very accurately something we're all stressed about, something that's on our mind, and then eventually we're like, yeah, I don't know, I don't have a great
Yes.
example of it, but almost, I don't know, in a world of like hyper isolation and people feeling really detached or like far from connection for many years, actually pre-pandemic I feel like is why, in just like a hyper technologized world, I feel like is why zombie apocalypse movies or just apocalypse movies in general were really big, because
Mm-hmm.
we were all kind of feeling like how would we navigate a world with so little connection. I don't know, I do think there are major themes. I think scary movies are a really interesting way to look at what's happening in the culture. I didn't
Yeah.
say that articulately and I don't have a good example, but I
No, you
stand by
did.
it.
No, you did. You did. You said it at least more articulately than I did because it was hard to explain. But
That is what you're talking about. Okay, then I
I
do
think that's
agree.
mostly what I'm talking about.
I do
And
agree.
like, I would rather watch a movie that's almost like directly a picture of the times that we're in and like be able to
Mm,
see myself in the character like in a very almost obvious way, or like, you know, it's a young woman who works at some job and this and that and the other, like something that's more realistic to my day to day, and explore those themes in that way as opposed to having it masked through a scary movie, but I got it
yeah, yeah,
more,
yeah,
I
yeah,
guess
yeah.
is my point. And like,
Okay.
yeah. So anyway, it was kind of interesting. That's what I took from the experience. I won't be watching one anytime soon, but I now understand people who like them, which was like a big gap for me, I feel like.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Do
Yeah.
you learn something about Ryan
I learned
more
something
so
about
and
him.
his love? Okay,
Yeah,
cute.
Kai loves them too. And yeah, it's like I'll never watch them with her. So maybe now that I've watched one with him, I need to watch one with her, but yeah, I don't know. Do you like them?
Okay. I actually do really like scary movies. I find them, I have such poor attention. It's really, really hard for me to sit through something that's more than 90 minutes, and all movies are like a week long now.
Yeah.
So I kind of dread when people ask me to go to a movie and I look it up and it's like more than 90 minutes long. It's very, very painful for me. But
Yeah.
scary movies I enjoy because they usually keep your attention better, because it's this big strip tease, as I've said before, very
Yeah.
similar narrative arcs to any good porn. It's a long strip tease with jump scares and build up and then some kind of release. And
Yeah.
Actually very similar narrative arcs as far as I can tell. So I like watching them. I think they're fun to watch, but I can't do that much anymore because I just lose more and more sleep over it.
Yeah,
It's too dangerous. I used to watch them actually. I used to watch scary movies at the gym, like on the treadmill,
that's insane.
because it would help the time pass because like you're not focused on running. You're just like
Wow.
you're trying to not die. But there was one instant I was at Planet Fitness at like 11 p.m. this 24-hour Planet Fitness in New York, and I would work out super late. And like they were alone at night and there was some kind of jump scare and I like fell off the treadmill and
Oh my
it was
God.
a whole scene and just
It
like
was a whole to do.
screaming, falling off the treadmill in this Planet Fitness alone at night. Um, I think yeah. So I didn't continue that
Sure.
habit
Yeah,
for
yeah,
too
yeah.
much longer.
That's
Sure.
probably for the best. Yeah, okay, no, that makes sense. I will not watch a movie. I'm not a very big movie person. I'm one of those people that like I'd rather binge watch 10 episodes of hour-long television all
Mm.
day than watch the 2-hour movie. Um, and one of the first questions I asked when we pulled up this horror movie the other day was like, how long is it? Okay,
How
an hour
long
and a
is
half,
it?
I can do it. An hour and a half, I can do it.
Nobody makes
Um,
90-minute movies anymore. Oh my God.
I know. It's
Why?
like
I
I
actually
go
don't
back and
understand
watch Disney
why.
Channel movies, like original High School Musical, that sort of thing, like Double Teamed, all those, because they are always just under an hour and a half because that was like the slot that Disney had for them at the time. And that will be I'm not a Disney adult, but I will sometimes go back and watch those because it's nostalgic and I
Yeah.
deserve that. Yeah.
um okay, cute.
Cute.
Fucking cute of us. I have
Yeah. Let
more
me see.
things. Should I
Okay,
say
go.
things? Okay.
Yeah.
Um okay, which way do I want to go with this? Nipple bra.
Nipple bra.
Do you know what I'm
Let's
talking
talk about
about?
it. Yeah. Kim Kardashian Skims nipple
Kim
bra.
Kardashian came out with a new bra for her Skims. Whatever, everybody knows. It's a nipple bra, a bra that you put on and has built-in nipples, so you always look like you have hard as rock nipples
They are
on.
crazy hard.
Crazy hard nipples. The Jess DeBakey memoir. And what are your feelings
Okay.
about this bra?
This is my marketer coming out, and
Yes.
I can't take credit for this. There's somebody who I follow on Instagram who does a lot of really great like marketing and branding content, and I'll find his handle. But he had a really great breakdown of this, and I think it's spot on.
Because
His
her ad for it was really fun.
Her ad for it was really fun. This guy's name is Schwinnabago Brand. I'm not going to spell
Okay.
that. You can find him.
I think
Um,
maybe you sent him to me.
I have. I think he's great. He does a lot of
Yeah,
really interesting brand dissections. And so
it is fun.
basically, Kim had this like insane, like sexualized, but also kind of funny um video that was all over the internet announcing this nipple bra. It was only days after she had announced Skims men's line. Skims, which has historically been a women's only brand for shapewear, bras, underwear, things like that, just launched maybe 2 years or 3 years into their existence a line for men and men's underwear. And she had all these like hot athletes model the underwear, and she's trying to build this side of her business. And then a few days later, she comes out with the nipple bra. I think it's very strategically because she wants more
Interesting.
men's eyes on the Skims brand. Um, and so the nipple bra not only
Oh,
appeals to women because it is kind of trendy to free the nipple now, appeals to a very specific subset of people who maybe are breast cancer survivors, have had a mastectomy, want the feeling. It's like affirming to feel like they can show their nipple with this type of bra. But more than anything, she wants men to come to the Skims Instagram page, to come to their store, and
ooh,
her branding of this nipple bra and her ad that she did, it's like
yes.
sexy, funny, men would like it. Come buy underwear from me. It's
I love
genius.
that. That actually, I would like, yeah. They have such good branding, so strategic that that does not seem unlikely. I love that.
Yeah.
That's
Would you
fun.
ever buy it and wear it? That's the question.
No, I personally wouldn't. And it's yeah, it immediately gets into like a more nuanced conversation. I also want to free the nipple. And if somebody else has free nipples, excellent. But I personally do feel self-conscious. I don't think anyone should feel self-conscious, but I do.
Right.
The same way, like I kind of want to free my butt crack, but I don't like I still don't like showing it that much. Like I don't have shame about my butt crack, but it's just something that historically has been reserved for a limited number of eyes. So when it's shown to more, I'm not saying that it should be private or shameful, but obviously that's what I've been. That's just what I'm used to. I think it's one of those tricky areas where it's like, I all at once do think I actually really hate how women's breasts are like over sexualized in a way to me that feels really unnecessary. And
Hmm.
also because that's a culture I'm raised in, I'm still immersed in that culture and I feel self conscious when my nipples are out and about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I personally wouldn't buy it. I think it would make me too self-conscious, but I would never think somebody else shouldn't buy it. Am I allowed to say that? Am I allowed to have
Yeah.
complex feelings? I don't know.
Of course, there is nuance to it. I mean, I think in different contexts, I may feel more or less comfortable with my nipples showing through my shirt. Like, I often wear just a thin bralette day to day just because I don't want to deal with a whole underwire bra situation. And my
Mm-hmm.
nipples will show through the bralette and show through my t-shirt if it's thinner. And like if I'm with my girlfriends or my boyfriend, like people I'm really comfortable with, I don't really care. But if I'm with new people, with like guy friends, maybe in a work setting, that sort of thing, I would prefer not for them to show because it does have a connotation, a sexualized connotation attached to it, whether
Whether
it
you
should or
agree with it or
shouldn't.
not, yeah, it
Yeah,
just does.
it
Right.
just
And
does. Like
in the
people
meantime,
are
I'm
now
trying to
looking
have a
at my
job.
boobs.
Yeah.
Um,
And I'm thinking about it is what I think gets in my head.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So yeah, I wouldn't buy it because first of all, I have no problem through a bralette, which is also made by Skims. My favorite bralettes are made by Skims. Um,
Same.
yeah, they're
Same. My
so
favorite
good.
bras. Actually, I'm not wearing one right now, but I don't like a wired bra. So
Yeah,
painful. I mostly only wear non-wired, and they make my favorite one.
totally. And my nipples show through that most of the time. I live in Chicago, it's cold. It's usually happening.
Let them
So
shine.
like I don't need the help of this bra. And I feel like if I were to spend money on like a true underwired, like formed bra, which is what this is, I wouldn't want it to have a nipple coming through it. Like then I'll just wear a bralette. You know what I mean? But I think it's a genius move. I have a feeling she's probably producing less of them than she's producing of her other items because I do think it's way more about the marketing of it all than it is about the product. But there are
That's so
definitely people who
interesting.
will buy the product, but maybe not as many people as who are buying the bralette that we both have. I don't know.
Yeah,
She knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing.
I know. I loved that little marketing insider scoop. Just fucking
Thank
great.
you. I
I was
was
also
pretty psyched to talk about it.
yeah, that was perfect. I was also thinking about Kim Kardashian this week because it's so easy. She's such low-hanging fruit for people to make fun of and has been for years. Which I get in some ways, and I can understand the arguments for the negative influences she's had on culture. Of course, she's a complex person, and there's good and bad to each of us. Do you think I haven't had negative influences on culture? I have, and I pray I have.
Widespread.
I pray. I hope. I hope. But
You'll get there.
she doesn't bother me. I don't hate Kim Kardashian at all, and it actually was making me think of somebody who's been around and such a core ruler of the celebrity world for so long. I have to think I don't think she can suck that much
Yeah.
interpersonally, at least. I don't think that like you can rise to the top being an asshole 100%. That's usually who rises to the top. But I think it's kind of hard to stay at the top of a world that is mostly social dynamics, if you truly suck, I don't know, I was just thinking about it recently and I was like, I
I
bet if I met
agree.
Kim Kardashian, I would fucking like Kim Kardashian.
I agree. I think, yeah, you have to be sort of ruthless and self-serving in a lot of ways to
To
get
run
to
a
that
business.
level.
To run a
Right.
business.
But that's business when you're talking in the scale of billions of dollars. Um, but I agree. I mean, even just from all of the variety of people that she has doing campaigns for Skims, it's like Cardi B, it's Kim Cattrall, it's like every person from every side of media and
Mm,
entertainment, from every like background and color, like people like her, or maybe they're just getting paid, but they're not above getting paid by her. So
yeah,
I don't know. Like I agree. I think to be that dominant, the Kardashians are doing something right, and it's not just their business sensibilities and like ability to make money. I think it's they are liked and they are taken seriously, and good for them. I'm a fan of the Kardashians. Like I've watched their shows growing up until now. I can criticize them easily. There's many things to criticize about them, but I
totally.
also find them entertaining. I find
Yeah.
them really smart at business.
Yeah, and
I like to study what they're doing. Like I think it's fascinating, and I think they've hacked something and started like so many trends, not just physical trends of like how to style yourself and how to look. That's the stuff I might criticize about them. How much
right,
work
right.
they've done on their bodies and how that's now what people strive for. That's fucked up. But at the same time, they can do what they want with their bodies, and also they're doing really cool stuff like on the business side that I am learning from. I do think is like something to marvel at. So it can be both. Like
It is both. Yeah,
it
totally.
is
I
both.
appreciate that. I think I get a little tired of the just like shitting on them sometimes or making them a joke. It's like, I don't know. I think they're like funny, smart, interesting
They've
people.
figured something out.
I don't feel hatred at all. Fascination.
Are there are celebrities that you have hatred for though? Like for sure.
Oh,
I feel
I mean,
like
I don't
who did you
know any
bring up one time?
celebrities. There probably are. What am I saying? Um,
Let's see.
somebody I hate. First of all, for me to say I hate anybody I don't actually know is
Sure.
obscene. And I
Sure.
will do it. And I will do it.
But prefacing it is good. You recognize it's obscene and you will do it.
What do I hate? I actually can't think of anyone I hate.
I know who you hate. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. You mentioned this person one time. It was a dude, it was an actor. In general, you hate male actors,
I
right?
mean, I have a hard time with male actors
Yeah.
because I've met them. Though that I feel more valid in because like I've met so many of them. I feel like I
There's a type.
a little more closely can guess, but also not really fair.
Yeah. I don't know.
You know someone I was thinking about this week who I don't understand. I just don't
Uh,
understand
okay.
is Timothée
I don't
Chalamet.
understand either.
I don't understand. What is
Why what's all the fuss
first of
about?
all, I literally wrote it down in my notes. What's all the fuss about? I literally wrote it down in my notes to ask you, and I was like, okay, now he's dating Kylie Jenner,
Yeah,
and I was
weird.
like, I was like, that's like a 10-year age difference. He's like a teenager, and then I looked it up, and
He's not a
not.
teenager.
He's
No.
older than her. He's 27. He's
He is
27.
a little elf boy. I don't understand what all the
I
fuss is
don't
about.
understand. He seems like a great guy. Great guy. Maybe he's the love
Sure.
of my life, but I don't understand why this person is like the sex icon of a generation. And in addition, I haven't seen any of his movies, so I have to assume he
Me
just has
neither.
like an amazing charisma. And if I watched one of his movies, I would get it. But I refuse to do that because I'm annoying. So, can anyone explain to me
But that's also the thing.
why?
The fact that neither of us have seen his movies, like, then what are these movies? And why does everyone else love them? And
All I
why?
know, I think mostly he was in that movie. We don't know anything, and I revere and respect our refusal to research anything that we have a hot opinion on. I'm not
I
gonna don't
won't.
ever look don't look anything up. Don't look anything up. Don't look anything up. He was in that movie Call Me by Your Name, which
Oh,
is
okay.
like a love story between him and an older gentleman, I believe. And
Yes.
I think it's like a beautiful
People love
novel
that
by
movie.
Andre
Respect.
Aciman and
Yeah.
a beautiful movie. Won't see it.
Oh, but
Um,
it has that other guy who's like a cannibal though.
what? Oh, that's hot. Okay, I'm listening.
I'll just search real
So
quick.
I
Cannibal
don't know.
celebrity.
Was he? That's the only thing I can think of is that he was like really charismatic in this movie of him as a young gay man, and now 30-year-old women are in love with him. I'm just like, I want to know what I'm missing, but not enough to find out.
Yeah, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Like, I think I've seen enough and I'm confident in my assessment that there's nothing I'm missing here. Yeah, this guy, Army Hammer, was the other lead in Call Me by Your Name. And I don't know the details, so I'm not
He's a
going to speak on
cannibal.
them. But apparently there was a whole like cannibalism scandal about him a couple years ago after that movie had come out. Like that movie happened, everybody fell in love with Army Hammer and
What is a cannibalism
Timothy
scandal?
Chalamet.
He ate a person's body.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we can Google that. Maybe
No,
that's
you
worth
know,
Googling.
this is something you have to Google because that's a crazy thing. To say that someone had, first of all, to say that someone had a scandal makes it sound like a blip in the radar of
Yeah.
their social status. I don't understand how eating another person could just be a blip. And now he still makes movies.
I don't know.
Ar-
I really don't know
Army.
anything about it other than I heard tell of this, and because I didn't see Call Me by Your Name, he's as irrelevant to me
Oh
as Timothy
no.
Chalamet. Probably
Oh
less.
no. Oh
Did he actually eat
no.
someone?
I don't know. I'm reading an article. Okay, everyone pause while I read an article.
Okay.
Army
Thanks for doing
Hammer.
this scientific research for us.
Okay, first, you're welcome. First pause is Army Hammer. Is that not a deodorant? Isn't that a deodorant?
arm arm and hammer, yeah.
Oh, Army
But
Hammer.
his
Okay.
parents have to had done that
Yeah,
on purpose.
that's very mean. That's very mean. Okay, Army Hammer deodorant found himself in the midst of some major controversy after a woman who says she had an intimate relationship with him created an account on Instagram to share gruesome details of the bizarre sexual interaction she says they used to have. The woman also shared explicit screenshots of explicit conversations that allegedly occurred between them. Blah, 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 blah. While most people wouldn't be surprised at the nature of dirty talk or sexing in 2021, the alleged conversations included talk of rape fantasies, the desire to inflict pain on his partners, and one in which the actor reportedly said he was 100% cannibal. Okay, I'm already, this is fine. This is not, whatever you say in sex fantasies is not, it's
Yeah.
not correlated to life. Okay, it's fine. I'm a sex cannibal. That's fine. He said something, unless he literally took a bite out of her clit, I am not interested.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Wait, it was such a big deal. And now that I'm hearing that it was all talk, I mean, okay, if
It
that's what you're
was
saying,
sexting.
don't be with him, but
Oh yeah, you don't have
let's
to be
not
with
kink
him.
shame the guy. I
Wait,
love that
that's
we're reporting on this years later. It's like,
sexual. We're so behind. You cannot be tuning into this for up-to-date news. His
no,
sexual fetishes from BDSM to quote drinking blood and quote cutting toes. Blah 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 blah.
cutting to.
Okay. Okay, cutting. Who hasn't cut a toe in a sexual
Sorry.
fantasy before? Okay, the article looks like there's other women accusing him of actually being abused and violated. That sounds
Oh,
bad.
okay.
But I'm gonna say, just to sex someone and say you want to eat their toes or cut their toes or drink
Hot.
their blood, like, why don't know? I don't know what else the DMs are for.
I'm sorry. Did we forget about Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob Thornton in the 90s? They wore a vial of each other's
Yeah,
blood on a necklace. So that came from somewhere. That
yeah.
came from a toe bite, okay?
This is his toe blood. This is his toe blood. His big toe, the most sexual of the toes.
Okay,
I had,
speaking
oh
of
yeah,
fantasies and porn and things like that,
okay.
if you don't want to speak on this, you don't have to, but we did get a DM and it feels like the
Uh-oh.
right time to bring this up.
Uh-oh.
When Caroline is thinking about mall Santa porn, is she
Oh,
watching it or is she the star? Whether the Santa or getting railed by the Santa, is she an elf? Is she in the igloo on the furs or is everyone watching at the gift shop? Like, can you just paint the scene a little bit for this person? I did
yes.
tell them
Yes.
I would ask and thank you for your service. Her name is also Caroline, which makes it feel
Oh,
even better.
that's hot. That's a hot name. Okay, great questions. So these questions are exactly why it's a whole genre. It's not
Mm,
a single fantasy. It's a whole genre because to me, I don't know why I landed on this, but it just like the mall Santa dynamic hits on a lot of things that work really well for me, which
mm,
is there's some kind of um condescending, debasing authority figure who is embarrassing me in front of his friends or something, which is basically
The
that's how I think
elves.
of the most. Could be the elves, could be the mall cop, could be the other people in line. So there's a bunch of
The
different ways it works
photographer.
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's one version, they're all in the mall usually. There's a version, there's so many. I'm trying to think of as many as I can. There's a version where I am an elf and I work with him, and sometimes they have like, it's like the take a photo with Santa set up in the middle of like the mall
Yeah.
atriums, and there's usually like a little like Santa's house, and like he might take me back into the house, or he might just like need a service from me while he's taking photos with people, and it might just happen right there in his little Santa chair.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm I'm in line to get my photo taken with him. Sometimes it's after hours back in the little, like there's not an active line and like the lights are down in the mall. Um
Okay.
Sometimes
People are sometimes,
there's yes.
other people are sometimes there and sometimes they're not.
And sometimes they're not. Sometimes I'm employed, sometimes I'm just a client.
Right.
Sometimes people are watching and aware, sometimes it's very covert and he just slips it in. But yeah,
Okay.
those are the basic variations.
Is he's always in the Santa costume. It's not like there
Yeah.
isn't a version where like you're in the locker room after a long day of working at the mall and he's
Oh,
taking off his Santa costume and you're taking off your elf costume and then something happens. That would be maybe that's my fantasy to add to the genre.
that's good. That's good. We're writing our porn script before your eyes.
Yeah.
That I like that. I could make something out of that.
Okay.
But I love in general like keeping clothes on a lot of time and like
Mm,
sneaking it in. I'm at a dinner party and like the pants don't even come all the way off, or like we
right.
don't even leave the dinner table, or um in the doctor's office going to see my lawyer for a consultation and they just bring me around to their other side of the desk, or yeah, Santa just happen to has a like can just flip it up while sitting in his Santa chair, doesn't have to
Right.
take anything off, and like maybe there's some kind of like flap or hole in my underwear underneath my
Sure.
big dress or skirt, so like from the outside you don't even know that anything's happening.
Yep. Yep,
Yeah,
because you're just sitting on the lap.
very
Yep.
very turned on by keeping the clothes on, a little sneak in.
I understand that. There's a Jay-Z lyric in a Beyonce song. It's like he's featured on, I think it's Drunk in Love. And he says, like, slip the panties right to the side, ain't got the time to take drawers off. Woo! My man. That is the hottest lyric ever. And Jay-Z is kind of like a weird looking dude, but that's hot. And he fucks Beyonce, so I'm down. Yeah.
Yeah,
I get it.
sometimes dudes are weird looking and
Yeah.
they
Santa.
still have sex.
Santa. Okay. I also, while you were describing it, was thinking about all of this going down in the Montgomery Mall in Bethesda,
The
Maryland,
mall we grew up in,
the
yeah.
mall we grew up at, the Westfield, which really made me feel at home. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for answering.
Yeah, it's a good question. Great question. Um,
Let me see what I got.
I saw another, I want to highlight, this is a listener highlight episode.
Yeah.
Somebody fulfilled another one of my wildest sexual fantasies, which is I put a call out a few weeks ago for somebody to leave us a review in the form of a haiku,
Yeah.
and somebody did. Shall I read the haiku?
Please.
Okay, five-star review. Thank fucking God that was a close one. I
Imagine.
don't
Imagine if the
know.
haiku came with a 2-star
Two
rating.
star. Oh God. The other funny thing, I can't see. Can you view? How do you like? You know how it cuts off the titles of the reviews sometimes?
Yeah. I don't know how you get to
Can't see the
those.
rest of it. Can't
It's
see it. I don't know who
stupid.
it's for. We can't
The
even see the
UX
titles.
is terrible on the
Yeah.
Apple Podcast app.
All right. Someone left us a 5-star review in the podcast on Apple Podcasts. A question I sometimes wonder. Here's the haiku. Roses by Outcast. How'd you survive middle school? Caroline Winkler.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect haiku.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful song reference. If you don't know the song, Roses by Outcast.
Caroline.
Caroline.
She's the reason for the word bitch.
Bitch. And then I was it's funny because I guess people do ask. They're like, do people sing that to you all the time? They don't. Actually, I get to everyone's surprise. Why are you laughing so hard?
No way. No, I have an answer to this question, having gone to middle school with you.
Yeah, in my memory, people don't sing it to me that much. I get
No.
Sweet Caroline a lot. Wait, what is your
No,
memory of this
people
song?
didn't sing it to you, but I feel like I
No.
remember you really like getting ahead of it and like taking ownership of this song. So like you would sing it. And everyone was like, we weren't thinking this, we weren't saying this.
I mean, I don't think I was scared of the song and someone calling me a bitch. That was gonna happen with or without my consent.
It's a good song.
I think I was just like, my name's in it. Did you guys know my name's in it? But it made me look at the lyrics and I was like, I wish this song related to me more. But then the more I read the lyrics, the more I was like, wait, maybe it does.
No.
Can I share some highlights?
Yeah, what are the lyrics besides that? And then there's a part about like a car crash, and that part's funny. Yeah! But that's it.
First of all, she's the reason for the word bitch. Sure, I understand. Probably somebody said that about me. Okay, here's a line. I hope she's speeding on the way to the club, trying to hurry up.
She's speeding on the way to the club, trying to hurry up. Yes. That's how they sing it.
Yeah, wait, I'm reading.
I'm trying to do her makeup in the mirror and crash into a ditch. Yeah. Just playing. It's all a joke.
It's a joke. Okay, but that actually literally did happen to me. I got in one single car crash in my life. I was not speeding to the club. I was speeding to a theater practice rehearsal at Georgetown Prep, and I was trying to do when we were in a chorus line. Different play. But it was there.
Okay.
And I was trying to do my makeup in the mirror, and I was looking in the mirror while doing my makeup, and I crashed. And I got sued for $2 million.
Oh, you hit someone else.
It was a fender bender. I think like insurance ended up whatever. I'd have to pay $2 million, but it was a fender bender, and I hit some lawyer. This dude was it was a fender bender. So like maybe going 6 miles an hour. It was stop and go traffic. 6 miles an hour. This guy, it was like there's no damage on the car. It was a fender bender. This guy called an ambulance and had him taken out on a stretcher. I was 16. I was so terrified. Of course, I was like crying, shaking. I remember I went and tried to talk to the guy and be like, are you okay? Like, whatever. He wouldn't speak to me. He wouldn't talk to me. He was windows down. He wouldn't look at me. He wouldn't talk to me. And eventually I was just standing outside his window and he wouldn't talk to me. So I went back to sit in my car again. And as soon as I started to walk back to my car, he was like, don't go anywhere. And like, craned his neck out the window to like yell at me all of a sudden. Craned his neck out the window and then had him carried out in a stretcher with a brace around his neck and sued for $2 million worth of damages.
Holy fuck. People are the absolute worst in those situations. It
was pretty bad.
Have been in a similar, I didn't get sued for $2 million. I didn't get sued, luckily, but I had a fender bender like when I was 18 or something, and it was fine. It was low speed, like near NIH in Bethesda, near my parents' house. And this woman like claimed that her neck was hurting. I was like, no, it's not. It's just not. And went to the hospital and all this stuff. And I was terrified. It was my first accident I've ever been in, actually only, knock on wood. And yeah, it's just like people see the opportunity. It's disgusting.
I guess some people need the money. I feel like this lawyer didn't need the money.
That's what I'm saying. He's a lawyer.
I know. He was
driving outside of Georgetown Prep. He's doing fine bad in that area.
And then one time I think I got in a fender, but I did get in another fender bender again in like stop and go. I think it was at a light, actually. It must have been like 2 miles an hour. And I hit this Jeep in front of me and we both like pulled off to the side and he got out, like looked at the car, asked me how I was, asked him how he was. And we were both like, we're cool. Like we don't need to do anything. Goodbye.
Exactly.
Which is how I would handle things, but whatever. I know not everybody does that. It was a pretty bad experience.
But so are you saying that Outkast manifested this crash for you and it's their fault? Big Boy and shoot, what's his name? Andre 3000.
Who's
Big
Big
Boy and
Boy?
Andre 3000. They're the
Is he
two
Outcast?
guys in
Outcast?
Outcast. Yeah.
Oh, I only know Andre 3000. Okay.
Yeah. Big Boy's the other
Yeah.
one.
They manifested us to this track. Actually, I wonder what year this came out. It's probably the year I got in a crash.
Yeah, it was right around, it was the same album as Hey Ya. And all of that was really poppin' when we were like mid high school, maybe like
Right.
10th
Yep.
grade or something.
That actually probably is exactly it.
Yeah.
She's got a hottie's body, but her attitude is potty. Okay, my
And a
attitude is
shorty act like naughty.
obviously
I
act like
love this
naughty.
song. I love this song. I can do the whole thing.
Jess is dancing. I got a potty attitude for sure.
I think that's kind of the point, right? Like, it's the goal, you're achieving it. You shouldn't be worried about it. Yeah.
Some pertinent goals. Do you have like a Jess song that you were like, this song is about me?
Mambo number 5 has my name in it.
Mambo number 5. Wait, what's
a
the
little bit
Jessica?
of Jessica. Here I am.
Here I am.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so there's
great
that
song. I still love that song.
It's so good. I am 32 years old. I still get excited every time that song comes on. And like, if it comes on in the background at a bar or something and I'm talking to my friends,
shut up. Everybody
I literally
shut up
will tune out of the conversation, not respond to a question for a few seconds if the Jessica part's coming up. I'm like, let's hold.
Here
and
I
Jessica. Here I am. Yeah,
That's
that would be
adorable.
it. I mean,
song.
I the only other one that I am torn about is the theme song of New Girl.
Oh,
who's
okay,
that
okay.
girl? It's just,
Yeah, that song kind of sucks though. It's not a fun song.
I know, but it is
You
fun to
deserve
say.
There has to be a better. It's just who's that girl? It's just okay. There has to be a better. I feel like you deserve a much better high energy Jess song.
Thank you. I think so too. We'll find one. Somebody, maybe that's the call for reviews this week. Write me a song, a full song in the review.
Just write just a song.
Just write me a song.
Just write a song.
Do something for once for us, please.
I have to wipe my armpits down with a paper towel for a moment.
Okay. You have a paper towel there at the ready for this. Okay.
You're so sweaty. I'm so hot.
Is it hot there? It's cold here, dude.
It's hot because I'm blasting the heat and like been running a fire up in this igloo. Yeah, it's hot now. Okay, that's done.
I feel like I wrote down some things. Oh, okay. This is interesting. We were talking about this just a few days ago with Prince as well. The three of us were texting.
Oh, Prince Abi.
Prince Abi.
Prince, the singer. Okay. I was like, what did we say to Prince?
At a seance. Summoning Prince. We were talking to Prince Abi, our producer, in our text chat, and saying how we all would love to live in a commune together. And that's something that I've talked to all of my best girlfriends about. I was at drinks last night with some kind of like newer friends from my gym, and it came up as well. And I just had this moment where I was sitting there and I was like, every woman I know wants to live in a commune. Like what? There's something here. There's something interesting psychologically happening to women in our generation where we're all like, let's just live in a commune. Invite whoever, as long as they're a woman, just invite them.
Oh no, I need it to be co-ed. I would not come to an all-girls commune. I already grew up. I spent 12 years in a girls commune. Oh no, I would never join an all-girls
You need
commune.
it to be co-ed. Okay, that's interesting. I feel like, can we have wings? Not. I think I need
Why can't I live with my love?
Yeah, so you don't want to be part of the commune anymore.
What? I thought it was always going to be a co-ed commune. I thought it was just like dorms. Like everyone likes living in the dorm. We're going to just have an adult dorm.
Well, here's the thing. Yes, like I'd actually be down for that, and that's on the table. I think what I'm trying to say is that I've never heard a man say he wants to live in a commune, but I have heard every woman I know say that they want to live in a commune. So if we wanted it to be co-ed and bring our partners, that could be great. But I don't know if they want it the way that we want it.
But you know what? I actually think that they do. Every fucking dude I know is like, I want to say like, I'm hard pressed to find a guy, I mean, or a woman, but a guy who's like not super lonely these days and really isolated, because it's like actually most people, but I hear it expressed by I don't know, a lot of my girlfriends saying that their partners or got their boyfriends, husbands, whatever, feel like pretty isolated or lonely or having trouble like making community, building a new community. It's hard to do period as an adult. It's hard to do period in a new environment. But I do think on average, a lot of women are better about like asking to go to coffee, asking to go on a walk, asking to go
Yeah,
whatever. And I do know a lot of guys who express struggling with it, and they all liked college dorms for the most part. I don't see why they wouldn't also like it.
that's true. They're just not proactively like naming that that's something that they wanted, but maybe if the
Maybe,
opportunity presented itself, they would. Because I agree,
maybe, yeah.
it is probably, it's like a known thing that's talked about that it's harder for men to make friends. Like women are just better at connecting day to day with whoever they want to. I mean, not everyone, these are generalizations, but it's hard for adult men to make new adult male friends. So yeah, it would help. Okay,
Often.
there's something here. I just found it. I was just screaming at the bar last night. Every woman wants a commune. And
Yeah.
people
They're
were
like, Jess,
cheering. Yeah.
Mamba number five is on. Shush, 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 shush. Someone play Mamba number five so she'll stop yelling.
Right, right. I was like, I just think I've hacked something. I'm gonna put this. I only had
Okay.
2 drinks, but I was like, I'm gonna put this on mugs for NFE. We're like branding this shit. Every woman wants a commune.
Ooh, shout out to merch is coming. Merch is coming.
Shout out to mugs. Yeah, I did that intentionally. We are
Guys, merch is
working
coming. We
on
don't
it.
know. It's coming. Okay. Just stay tuned, y'all.
It's coming. It's coming sooner than you think, but we're not committing to a date
Yeah.
right now.
Sooner than you think, but slower than you want.
That's it. That describes coming in a lot of context. Merch coming,
Yeah.
other coming, sooner than you think, slower than you want.
Oh, you're slaying it today. There's
I'm in a silly ass mood. It's the morning. You're having me record this in the morning, and this is what you get.
I like it. I like it. I didn't even have to bring my ring light out because I look illuminated as is instead of filming in the dark
You
of
do.
night.
You do.
There's a meme. I think it was a meme or a joke. Maybe it was just a joke. I don't even know what were how did we joke before memes? There was some kind of old-timey joke that was maybe not a meme that about men and friendships that was like golf was invented because men were too embarrassed to ask each other just to go on walks together.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's true. First of all, nothing's happening out there on the golf course. Y'all are just going for a nice walk in the garden, right? And like sipping teas and stuff,
Right. Oh yeah.
iced
It's
teas and
super pure.
yeah, it's a cute, so cute. But I do think that's part of it that a lot of guys are just like maybe it does feel vulnerable to ask someone on a platonic date. And I guess I mean it's hard. It feels hard for me, so I get it. But
It's the whole
it's hard
premise
and
of I Love
yeah.
You Man, that Paul Rudd movie.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah, like
yeah.
it's a thing. Men asking men to hang out is like one-on-one, like a man date. That is intimidating. It's not as normalized as like two
Yeah,
girlies
which
going out for
sucks for
drinks.
them. That's a thing I want to free them of. So I don't know if you're a guy who feels oddly isolated, it's know that it's not odd. I feel like it's most people, and it does feel like it's hard. I don't know what the explanation is, but
You know, something that I have realized in the past week or two about feeling isolated, and like another hack, you shared a hack a couple weeks ago of like go grocery shopping with your friend, like just do
oh
normal
yeah,
day-to-day errands and stuff. It
chores.
doesn't have to be a whole thing. Another thing that I realized, I mentioned this, I went for drinks last night with kind of new friends from the gym. We've never hung out outside of the gym context together, but we've wanted to. We like definitely have fun together in the gym, so we decided to do this. And it was so fun to hang out with people who like are new to me in a social context. Um and I was thinking about why that is, and I think that there's something very freeing about hanging out with looser connections, because especially if you're like in a weird mental health spot and like maybe struggling in certain relationships, or even if you're not struggling in certain relationships, struggling in any part of your life, it's almost like when you're with your closest people, it's hard to escape that. Like they know what's going on with you intimately, and
Oh,
so you have to maybe
oh,
talk about it. They'll maybe ask you how it's going with that thing that you've been struggling with, or maybe it's something that has to do with your friend group or dynamics that they're more intertwined in, and so it's a little bit like of a weird thing to navigate. Like they're just closer to the stuff that you may be struggling with. And
mm-hmm,
so while it's great to have close friendship support, it also can be really nice to hang out with other people who like aren't
mm.
going to ask you the hard questions, or
Oh,
who aren't as close to something that you might be dealing with, and just feel like, oh my God, I'm like normal again. Like I can joke around and I can just like be light.
Jesse, that just tells me how fucking heavy your world has been for a little bit. I'm glad that you
Yeah.
got a break from it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't want it to be misconstrued as like my close friends not showing
Oh, I
up in the
know.
right way for me,
No, I
because
don't.
that's
I don't think
really
that's what
not
it
what it
is.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah,
it's just like I've been struggling to
yeah.
feel, I think there's like a side of myself that I've been struggling to tap into recently, and it's like this lighter side. Um like I don't know, I'm like making jokes all the time. I'm like having laughter day to day still, but just there's still like a
Such a
heaviness.
robotic way. That's such a weird robotic
I'm
way to
having
say
laughter day to day.
I'm having
It's
laughter.
not like I'm
It
sitting
doesn't
in a
sound like
corner
it.
crying all the time, is I guess what I'm trying to say. Like I'm not like there, but I, even when I'm having fun, even when I'm laughing and
Having
joking
laughter.
around, there's still having laughter. There's still like a bit of a weight on my heart currently.
Hmm.
And so hanging out with people who are like looser connections just allowed me to step out of myself, I think, a little bit, and just be like the light, like the floozy that just showed up at the bar to talk to these new friends. Like, I don't know. It just allowed me to feel lighter in a way that I haven't been able
Wow.
to tap into. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's maybe a sign of where I'm at, but it's also like I think it's a real tip, you know?
Oh, it is. It is. It absolutely is. Yeah. No, I didn't mean to say that to diminish the point you're making at all.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's a really nice point. I can absolutely see that being true. And I'm glad you got to have that. I love that.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks to those pals.
That's sweet.
Um, what else? What else? What else?
What else? What
Anything
else?
else?
I have a question. Yeah.
Okay.
Could you could you romantically love a man named Gene? Sounds like a no. Could you?
I'll tell you, it's something I've never considered. And
Okay.
I would say that most of the things that I end up doing, I've like considered. Do you
Okay.
know what I mean?
Okay. Okay. Could you fall in love with a man named Reginald?
If you went by like Reggie, maybe.
Okay,
I mean,
Reggie's good.
that's still bold, but like I'm bold. So maybe.
What what about Chester?
No.
Okay.
Unless it was the Cheetos mascot. He's kind of, that guy fucks.
Is his name Chester? Let
Yeah,
me
I
look
think
him
his name is
up.
Chester. He's hot. He wears
Cheetos
those glasses.
mascot.
Speaking of
First of all,
cartoon
this isn't
crushes,
for this is a cat. This is once again a cartoon cat.
he's a
Uh
tiger.
yeah, no, he fucks.
He fucks. He like that
That
guy.
is a cat that gives head. Let me tell you
That
that.
cat drives fast and eats
And eats
ass.
ass, for a reference to my own video. I've just recently been compiling a list of male names that I think might be deal breakers for me.
Okay.
Other contenders. Just maybe give me a yay or nay. Could you love Rodney?
Yes. I'll
Cecil.
tell. There's a specific reason why, but I'm supposed to give you a yay or nay.
Okay. Cecil.
No,
Wait. Why Rodney? What's the reason?
because there's a well-known guy in the Bachelor franchise named Rodney, and he is sweet as
Mm.
pie. He is so
Mm.
cute. I love him. I could love a
Oh,
Rodney. Yeah.
okay. I'm not saying I couldn't love these. I'm just saying I have.
You're
I'm
questioning
thinking
it.
about it.
You're
I'm
checking.
thinking
You're
about it.
checking.
Cecil.
Yeah, that's a no. That's a no. I don't have a
No.
reason. I don't need to give a reason. I think it's clear.
Yeah, you don't have to give a reason. Norman. First of all, he's 85, so That's the other part of it.
Norm Macdonald is one of my favorite comedians.
Is his name Norman? Is that his
I don't
Christian name?
know. That's a good question.
Wait,
I
oh,
don't
he's
know if
so hot.
anyone's name
I
is
fucking
Norm on
love.
their birth certificate.
That's true. Norm McDonald, nay Norman Jean McDonald. Oh my God,
No,
Norman Jean.
you're joking.
I had the biggest crush on Norm Macdonald.
Exactly.
I fucking love Norm Macdonald.
Exactly. He
R.I.P.
just
R.I.P.
broke he just broke this test. Norman and Jean, I think you have to approve.
I fucking loved young Norm Macdonald. Okay, Glenn.
Not romantically, but I can love him as my father.
Okay, are you saying you condemn the others to hell? I don't. The others can continue to live. The
Yeah,
others can be my father.
Cecil's not in my life in any capacity. No.
What about Bernard?
Yes, there's a
You are gonna make love to Bernard and tell him and call him
my
that?
favorite Christmas movie is the Santa Claus, and
I
the
know,
head elf
Bernard.
is named Bernard, and
But
he
he's
is
not.
weird
No,
looking, but I had a huge
no,
crush on him when I was a
that's
youngster.
wrong. That's objectively incorrect. That's incorrect.
All of my
Okay.
friends make fun of me for it. Bernard, I can love you.
What? He's so annoying. All I can think of that is that scene where he's got like cream cheese all over his mouth. He's always eating
Yeah.
a sandwich.
He is. Oh yeah, I think I liked that. Like he was kind of angry and he would stomp around. He would stomp around the elf factory thing, the Santa's factory, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Just eating a sandwich, and like he didn't care where the crumbs went. Like he was taller than all the rest of the elves for some reason. Like he's actually not tall in real life, but amongst the elves, he was tall.
He was a child. First of all, he's a child, which is brings up to me, reminds me of like these like characters from movies and stuff that we had crushes on as a kid, who they don't age because they're a character. And then you're older and you still can feel this crush for them, but then you're like, oh, but I'm a pedophile because that's a child.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Yes, I'm a pedophile. Okay. What about George?
That's my dad's name.
But it's spelled Jorge.
Jorge? Absolutely.
No, it's George. It's George.
If it's Jorge,
it's not.
And we got a little
George.
Latin flavor going on, then I can get down with a George.
No, it's pronounced a George.
I can't. There's two. Not only is my dad's name George, but there are like many family members named George in our family tree. I don't think I could.
You could call him Orge for short. Orgy.
Maybe if I could call him like Jay.
Big J.
Big J and Little J. People call me Jay.
Oh, I call you Jay.
If I really loved them, maybe I could make it work. But no, generally no. Can you love a George? Because that doesn't seem like a hard name to love. It's just that it's my dad's name.
It's the J. No, George is fine. It's the J.
It's the J for you.
It's the J for me.
And insisting that it be George, like you are definitely Latinx. Like embrace your roots, Jorge.
But sometimes if it's a Jorge, that's not even a question.
It's a different name.
Jorge. But sometimes people just be kooking on their spelling. Somebody out there spelling George with a J 100%.
And pronouncing it that way.
And trying to make love to you.
All the time, baby.
And they're Jess's dad. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
It's over.
I'm sorry. Thank you for participating in this study. I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing with this data.
Give me one more name.
Oh, I think that was the end of the list.
Okay. Could you romantically love someone with your dad's name or your brother's name?
Ugh. I think I really did hesitate on them on dating apps. Like, because you'd see certain names on dating apps. I would think about this. I'd be like, I don't love that name. I can't even think. They were worse than these. These are like old manish kind of names. Sorry if I insulted whoever you love. But
young Norman.
There's some real cucaracha ones. Wait, I wonder if I saved. Let me see if I saved any of them. I might have saved some of them. Let me see. Cucaracha. Actually.
Cucaracha.
I mean, I dated, this wasn't a deal breaker, but I dated a Lazar.
Oh, yeah, you did.
And I actually never really knew what to call him because I actually don't think I could pronounce his name right.
Yeah, that's difficult.
I don't think I ever said his name right, so I would just avoid saying it, which felt stressful.
It took me like a month to get my ex-boyfriend's name right. It's not that hard of a name. I just kept mixing up like the sequence of letters. It is a name of Indian descent, so it's not like
Okay.
Stephen, but
Okay. I couldn't believe I was say Steven.
that being said, it wasn't that hard and it was pronounced how it was written and everything. But I just was drunk the first time I met him and I like couldn't for the first
Okay.
couple weeks that we were hooking up, I like didn't really know what his name was. Then we spent 4 years together. So you can come back from anything. I think we got a
um,
wrap.
I think you're
I think we did
done.
enough to them today. I think we've punished them long enough.
We punished you long enough. Thanks for listening. This has been Not For Everyone. If you want to follow us on Instagram, it's Not For Everyone Pod with the number 4. Jess is Jay DeBakey. I'm Caroline Winkler on YouTube. Do not find me on Instagram. I'm doing weird stuff and I want to be left alone. But you can find our editor producer Abi Newhouse at Abi Newhouse on Instagram. ABI. It's a kooky well space. Well, whoop. It's a kooky way to spell Abby, just like a George.
Fucking George.
Fucking
We love you, Jorge.
George.
We love you all.
We love you, George. Bye.
Bye.